Isagi and Barou stocks are up, boys, as even their masters are calling them literal prodigies. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Animasu, as always, bringing you guys another weekly chapter review. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys an in-depth analysis, some theories, and my opinions on chapter 231 of Blue Lock. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, comment on my videos, and even join the community Discord if that interests you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and please enjoy the video. As we enter the game's final stages between Bastion, Munchen, and Ubers, the game is tied at 2-2. With tensions running high and the anticipation building, the players are eagerly waiting for the game to restart. As we can firstly just see the Ubers players standing around, it specifically also shows us both Barou and Isagi staring one another down. This is probably due to their little intro text here also referring to them, as it says, with both masters out of the game, the match has reverted to total unpredictability. Reaching its current climax, it's up to the egoist of the field to lead their team to victory. Then changing over to the bench of Italy's Ubers, Marc Snuffy is also shown to be encouraging his team. He's yelling out to them, saying that since Barou has now hijacked this team, it's their job to now also play through him, to produce a goal that even he couldn't have come up with. We see both Aiku and Sendo saying Roger to their coach, but Nico on the other hand is feeling like a different man after Barou's outburst. This man goes on to say, "So just keep doing what we've been doing? Copy that." Nico is such an underrated character, I mean damn. Anyways, then taking off his headband and twirling it around, Marc Snuffy tells Barou that since he's effectively just kidnapped his team, then the responsibility of a loss will fully fall on Barou, as this team's unruly brat. With Barou then wiping off his lip after taking a drink, he calls Snuffy a goddamn dinosaur, while also telling him to shut his mouth. "Just sit quietly on the bench and tremble in fear as you watch me surpass you." I mean, Jesus. Barou needs to learn some manners or this kid isn't going to make it on any team. Anyways, Snuffy is as equally interested as he is entertained with Barou's words here, as he tells the Ubers that they better back it up with a win. With Drago, Fukaku Gen, and Ryu being shown getting pumped up in their own ways, the next page here holds some really interesting information relating to yesterday's video. As Noa and Snuffy was walking back to the bench, he specifically stopped next to a certain player while placing his hand on his shoulder. Kiora Gen. "I promise that I will play you in the next match." Well people, that's confirmation for all of you Kiora stans out there, and definitely not a good look for the deniers. Going on to further tell Kiora to keep his blade sharp and to stay ready, Kiora nods his head in understanding of his master's words. Now if you guys are interested in Kiora Gen and want to know all about him, make sure to check out my video I just uploaded about him. Also then being shown off standing in front of the BM bench is none other than Hiori, stretching out his arms while preparing to go play. Looking over at our main man here, Hiori actually thanks Isagi for handpicking him last chapter. While taking a sip of his water though, Isagi makes it clear that he didn't do that for Hiori, he just simply sees his abilities as a means to his goal. Then tapping in the METAVISION, he stares with them into Hiori's eyes, asking if he too can use this ability. Yeah, that peripheral vision thingy that you mentioned before? Yeah, no big deal. Hiori just confirms that he has METAVISION here, so nonchalantly. I mean, the community had already widely speculated on this to be a fact, but it's just pretty interesting to see it confirmed here. Anyways, Isagi tells Hiori that he's exactly right on that description, furthering on to ask what he saw during Snuffy's counterattack. Now, the time that they're referring to right now is when Isagi, Noa, and Yukimiya were all working their way up the field through the Uber's defense, which ultimately ended due to a bad lob pass from Yuki. Hiori immediately notes this, remembering that if Isagi would have gotten a pass to his feet there, he would have scored. Jumping in excitement a little at this confirmation, Isagi says that he and Hiori do seem to be on the same page. That level-headed analytical playmaking is exactly what he needs right now, in order to become the hero of this game. Hiori here actually goes on to stand up for Yuki a little though, saying that we can't even fault him for making that lob pass. Yukimiya's dribbling was what initially made them that space to score anyways, and while I might not agree with the line of this logic, Hiori then goes on to ask Isagi for their current plans. Mimicking a similar moment in chapter 223, Isagi makes the same exact face as Noa, while telling Hiori that he has no clue at all. This played out exactly as Isagi and Noa's conversation about Snuffy did, with both Isagi and Noa having no particular plan in mind for their situations. Then just laughing at him, Hiori is just so surprised that Isagi would demand for his substitution, to then not even have a plan in the moment. Isagi however says that he didn't have any other choices due to the Uber subbing as well, so they're just gonna have to go and improvise on the fly. While looking over towards the Ubers who are also discussing plans, Isagi tells Hiori that they too are still evolving, meaning that there are gaps to exploit. If they can just be on the same page and exploit those gaps, then he is confident that they will 100% win. With the two of them then high-fiving walking side by side, Hiori understands that they need to focus on with a collaborative vision, where both of them are reading and analyzing the game with METAVISION. I wonder why. Then thinking once again about his reason to play football, Hiori is stuck wondering why he doesn't mind these expectations that Isagi is placing on him. After all, he was just kinda pulled off of the bench with absolutely no warning at all, and is now being expected to perform while wagering their regular spots. Let's do this, Hiori. Okay, egoist. With both Isagi and Hiori radiating aura from their eyes, Hiori is confident in his mind that he's going to change this match. He can just feel it in his body. With the chapter then flashing over to the Masters again, Noa is actually messing around with Marc Snuffy. Joking that he's surprised at Snuffy's emotional tactics, Noa asks if he's gotten all soft now due to Barou's enthusiasm and passion. Then telling him to shut it while calling him an emotionless cyborg, Snuffy and Noa both go on to make some interesting comments here that definitely raise Barou and Isagi's stocks. While leaning back in his chair, Snuffy points out that Isagi Yoichi is definitely someone possessing a unique talent, so he can understand why Noa would take him as a protege. Noa says that he could say the same too about Snuffy's protege Barou, saying that in quote, Barou's potential as a striker is up there with the best U20 strikers in the world. Now keep in mind, this is just his potential. However, these praises mean a ton coming from the world's best. Snuffy agrees with Noa on this, even going on to say that Isagi and Barou's twisted rivalry reminded him of the one that Noa and Ego Jinpachi had. Noa, however, says that he should not be lumped in with Ego, as he wants to produce players even more evolved than that twisted maniac. Now with even more and more hints of Ego's backstory coming to light, what do you guys think will be the proper moment where his full story is shown? Anyways, while looking forward to both Isagi and Barou, Snuffy says that if they continue to evolve at this rapid rate, then that pipe dream of Japan winning the World Cup might someday actually become reality. Then being shown for the first time in some chapters, Alexis Ness is then highlighted to be freaking out again. He's frustrated and stressing because containing Isagi is already enough of a job, but now they even have to deal with the Ubers and Barou's crazy tactics. You know, an easy solution here would maybe to be not griefing your team, but hey, whatever works for you. Practically on the verge of tears, Ness realizes that in this game, there's a chance that he and Kaiser might actually lose. Swooping in though as a loving boyfriend does, Michael Kaiser wraps his arm around Ness, asking what the problem is. He tells Ness that if he continues to don such a pathetic look on his face, then even the goddess of victory will abandon them. Continuing to freak out a little though, Ness goes on to whine some more to Kaiser, asking for what they can even do. Just stay calm. Kaiser tells Ness that he needs to cool it, as every game has an eventual weakness that they can exploit. He knows that Isagi will definitely try and outwit Barou here, so they just need to target that factor specifically. With this dude's forehead vein literally bulging out like the Incredible Hulk, Kaiser confidently states that they will destroy every last one of them, while asking if Ness is ready. The chapter then once again cuts back over to the Uber side of things, where Lorenzo and Barou are continuing to prove that they're the best duo. Lorenzo is literally offering him one of his gold teeth, meanwhile Barou is threatening to knock them out with his fist. How wholesome. Lorenzo explains the reason why he's trying to gift him this though, by telling Barou that he's never seen Snuffy make such a face before. He's now indebted to him. Barou, however, says that if they all want to repay him, then they better set him up for this winning goal, with Nico, Aiko, and Sendo all being shown saying okay. Everyone except for Lorenzo. Anyways, with the game preparing to start right back up, we also get to see some of Bastard Munchen's other players getting ready. Gagamaru is thinking to himself this next shot attempt, he will stop. Meanwhile, Yukimiya, he thinks that he's the game's hero still? Dear lord, he might be even more blind than we thought, boys. Also, Raichi is then shown to be screaming out for everyone to get ready, as he specifically points out that Snuffy is no longer in the game. Interesting thing to highlight as well from Raichi, as with him, he's no longer man-marking Snuffy, so Barou might have some trouble coming his way. The intercoms then blare out saying that the stage is set. After a fierce back and forth battle with sensational goals on both sides, Bastard Munchen and Ubers now stand tied at 2-2. Who will score the winning goal and emerge as this game's protagonist? As this is being said, Isagi is then also shown to be walking calmly while stretching out his arm. Taking a deep breath out while collecting himself, Isagi knows that he has every piece needed now to score and become this game's hero. As Hiori is then shown as well, Isagi will now have the playmaking abilities to take full advantage of, which will now lead him to dominate within this game. With the time finally arriving, the new Egoist League matchup finally kicks back off, with Ness passing off the first ball to Michael Kaiser. Kunigami, Lorenzo, and Hiori are all specifically shown separately here along the edge of the shot, so make sure to keep an eye on these three. On the final page here, Barou and Kaiser are then shown too from the perspective of the masters and Isagi, as he says this: "The king of the match is me." Now that Hiori is inside of the game, Isagi believes that he can take it to a whole nother level. In this dog-eat-dog environment, there's only one way to survive this battle between the fittest: aim for the throne. One interesting thing to point out here, Isagi's METAVISION eye definitely does look a little more detailed and different here, so make sure to let me know if you have any thoughts on that. For chapter 232's title being High Evolution, we will be receiving another weekly chapter with no break, so you can expect an overview from me next Tuesday. If you have any thoughts at all on what could be in store for us in chapter 232, or have any ideas about the title, make sure to drop it down in the comment section or share it within my community Discord. As always, I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting the channel. If you'd like to see more high quality content like this, please be sure to check that you're subscribed to the channel, commenting on my videos. Anything like that just really helps me a ton. Thank you all so much once again, and please have an amazing day.